What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for minor concerns on minor evac. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Rifts to Core Hall is the map where we have to destroy 10 void shards before timer runs out. Each set of void shards we destroy adds time and reveals the next set. Mag mines are scattered across the map to start. They deal 250 damage, but you can dodge them. Your units sometimes run around in fear when hit. Resource harvesting is severely limited, and income is primarily through pickups that spawn on the map.
Okay, so we have Twotuuu to call with us today. Twotuuu, how are you?
Good.
Good. Okay,
Great.
so how will we rank the commanders this week?
So commanders who can do a lot, contribute a lot without needing a lot of money can get a higher ranking, basically. It's
Yeah.
pretty much, and clearing the mines. So that's that's a small part, and the fear is also a small part. So static defense will be useful.
Very useful. For me, I just weighted everything equally. If you're good at all four things, the map, fear, slim pickings, and mag mines, you get 4 points. And if you're good at 3, you get 3 points. If you're good at 2, you get 2 points. If you're good at one thing, you get 1 point. If you're not good at anything, you get 0 points. So 4 points is A tier or S tier, 3 points is B tier, 2 points is C tier, 1 point is D tier, no points is E tier. Let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
Abathur can get swarm hosts. So once you have 100 biomass swarm hosts, you can start clearing lots of mines. The locusts don't care if they get feared because you'll just make more. And then eventually you just get even more locusts. So you get even more swarm hosts, and you're more limited by biomass than by money.
Yes.
So yeah, his method of clearing is kind of slow though.
A little slow.
So yeah, he can deal with the first wave this map easily because of toxicness.
Yes.
Yeah, so I put him in B.
I actually have all the points you say, except I put him in A tier because he checks off all the boxes. Why is he not A tier?
Because he's slow.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I don't have any good reason. I just put him in B.
I put it the other way around. I don't have any good reason to take a point away from him. Yes, he's slow, but he still does just fine, right?
I suppose. Okay.
So is that
A
good
is
enough?
fine.
A is fine. Okay, let's put him in A. Prestige-wise, he want the second prestige so that the locusts are really good. So Abathur in A tier. Alarak, for me, is C tier. I took away a half point from Slim Pickens because he does still need a little bit of an army. I took another half point away from Fear because while the mothership is pretty resistant, it still does sometimes fly around in Fear, and that takes away a huge part of your offense. Also, Alarak, same thing applies to Alarak. I did take away another half point from the mag mine, so he's like right between B and C. I just put him in C out of conservatism. What do you think?
He does get feared a lot, like Alarak himself, and because he's always in the front, and because you're short on money, it's hard to get like a big death fleet or ascendant army or anything.
Yeah.
And if Alarak keeps eating your army's gonna die even faster.
It's never gonna grow.
If you just use the mothership, it's also kind of like you'll have so many air units hitting you when you try to sneak in from the sides that
It
it's
gets
not
feared.
gonna be very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I think C is alright.
C is alright. Okay. He has one prestige here, Shadow of Death. The other ones will make it way too slow for you to push. So let's put him in C. Arcturus, where do we have him?
He can deal with the first wave easily, and then he gets ESOs, and nothing will stop him. So S.
Not double S this time.
You still have to
Yeah.
get money, but it's not like
So
that hard.
this is gonna be controversial. Free money is hard for Arcturus because he needs to build a lot of Earth Splitters to
No, you
really
don't.
destroy this map. So I guess he can. I'd put him in B initially, but now I'm reconsidering. Like my new consideration is how many Earth Splitters do you really need? Like usually I build like what 15 to 20 on this map, but like I think even 6 Earth Splitters would do just fine. Just salvage them and relocate them. So with that being said, if you only need to build 6 and then defend until game ends, I think you could do okay. So I guess he did you say he was S?
Yeah.
Okay. That was my only problem. I took
got,
away
like,
Yeah, I took away a point for slim pickings for Arcturus, but now that I reconsider it, he don't need 15 to 20 Earth Splitters. 6 would do just fine. So, okay. I guess...
I built 18, so...
You built 18. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not good at splitting my attention the way I have ADHD. I tend to hyper focus on one thing and forget everything else. So I cannot get
And,
18.
like, what is there to pay attention to? There are no
Money.
There are no threats except pick up money.
Protecting your workers from the mines, like dodging and building and
But you're
multi-building
not dodging
and targeting
for
your
the
Earth
whole
Splitters.
time. You target Earth Splitters once and you don't look
Contaminated
at them
strike.
for the rest for a long.
Uh,
Contaminated strike is you use it once
oh my goodness.
and then
Okay.
you clear mine once.
Let me
so.
let me explain things for you non ADHD people. When I hyper focus on something, like I really just. Do you know what tunnel vision is?
Yes.
So you focus so hard on one thing that you spend more time on it than you should. Like you really focus on doing the same thing that you forget to macro behind it. You forget to build Earth Splitters. You forget to retarget. You forget to use your contaminated strike. You forget to collect money. It's a real thing, and it does make it harder for me. I did take away a point from slippings. I can't make 18. I'm just saying.
But,
I'm just saying even 6 would be fine.
That's not Fenix's fault though. That's not the commander.
I feel like we've had this discussion before. It's just that I don't think you can expect normal people to have that much attention span. That would be like diamond leaguers or higher in that case, and like that's like top 20% of the 1v1 player base, which is on its own already higher than what co-op players normally are. I think you're overestimating the players here as to what they can actually.
I don't think so. But considering that it's not minesweeper mines, it's mag mines. So once they're gone, you have like a whole first. You don't even clear anywhere except the first area and the ESO area. You don't have to clear anywhere else the mines because you've never touched it.
I actually think you don't even have to clear the first area. I think just a singular bunker that's not in range of mag mines will do just fine. But I digress. I still
because
think
once you clear the first area, you have all that money that's just there to pick up.
I guess that's true, but my point was, it's harder to collect to manage everything than you think it is. It really is harder than you think it is. But I still think he's okay enough for S. I mean, there's a reason why he's not double S, right? Normally he's double S, but right now he's only single S.
All right.
Okay, let's put Arcturus in S tier. Do you prefer Toxic Tyrant here or the Inhumane one?
I don't think it matters because you'll have so much mandate that you won't be able to use it all.
Okay, if you say so. Let's move on. Artanis for me is B tier. I'm thinking just use Tempest to fly around the edges, the western edge of the map, and just clear everything there. If you want to deal with Fear and Magmines, or Fear and Magmines, you can just put Shield Overcharge. That will work just fine. Or you can even use Archonduce to trigger all the Magmines in the spot. I'm actually thinking just get a couple Phoenixes, activate Shield Overcharge, and fly them around the base to clear all the mines there. That should do just fine. And for defense, you can still have Zealots, you can still have the Shield Overcharge, you can still drop Archons if you need to, although I don't recommend using that for every single attack wave. Maybe Shield Overcharge would be just fine, especially if it's just a ground-based wave. So, I did take away a point from Artanis for slim pickings because he does need a lot of Tempests, and he is very much an army-based commander. That's why I only have him in B.
For me, I put him in C because he's an army-based commander, just like Alarak. He does have the advantage of being able to fly over edges. Depending on what enemy you're facing, like it's you're gonna have to kite more, or if you're fighting a Zerg, your Tempest will get pulled.
That's true.
Unless you
I
snipe.
completely forgot to think about the Vipers. That's true.
And
Okay,
every Tempest you lose, that's like
it's a lot of money that you won't have, that you'll never get back most likely. All right, I'm okay with C. Let's put him in C. Prestige
you
wise,
don't actually
yeah.
you don't actually need a lot of Tempests, but you need to collect the money to get those Tempests.
And as I mentioned before, it's harder to collect than than you think. Anyway, I think C is fine. Prestige wise, you want the Archship Commandant here, the third one. Let's move on.
Yes.
Dehaka, where do you have him?
Dehaka he only really needs enough money for pack leaders, and then once you have pack leaders, you won't die for a long time, and then you can use pack leaders to clear the second area. And by that time, you should get enough money for you just need 8 creeper hosts, and then you'll take out the third and fourth areas.
Yeah, I agree.
And he has a hero unit for the first wave, and uprooted Primal Warden, which he probably should have. So that doesn't get feared. So I put him in S.
Yeah, I also put him in S. I was actually iffy on putting him in S because, as you mentioned, the first wave can put fear in Dehaka, like literal, actual fear. So only S tier for me this time. Let's put Dehaka in S tier. You still want Primal Contender here, right? Or does it not matter? All of them are S.
Doesn't matter that much, but P2 is better.
Okay. Fenix for me is B. I think he's similar to Artanis. He just takes a half point away from every mutator, and that averages B to C, but put him in B for now. What do you think?
I suppose if you're going the mass carrier route, a lot of your interceptors will die to Magmines.
Yeah,
and
that's my concern.
they take a long time to replenish.
Yes.
So that kind of sucks. And if you're fighting like Terran, they shoot air, so your interceptors will keep getting feared too.
Yes.
And you'll need a lot of carriers in order to deal significant damage. So if you're doing P2, you'll need to know how to snipe with Caudalis, but Caudalis also gets feared.
Yes.
Because he's always in the front and everyone's focusing on him.
Yes.
So he's not as effective. So you need a lot of money to replace the shells. And I don't think that's that good. Because sometimes you want him to attack more, but you can't because he's you don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Then you have to go back and get more money. So I put him in C.
Okay, that's right around where I have him. I did put him in B, but I am not opposed to C at all. C is fine. Prestige-wise, do you think there's some merit to thinking about the first prestige here, so that you at least don't have to worry about defense anymore? Or do you really just want to go second prestige all the way?
1 is fine. 2 is also fine. Okay.
Okay, so we have Phoenix in C tier. Han and Horner, where do you have him?
Han and Horner actually is pretty good because Strike Fighters will clear all the Magmines, so you don't have to worry. You might get confused about your remaining Magmines, and you might think that they are the enemy Magmines, which
yes,
they really should be different colors.
They really should be different colors. 100% agree.
Or something. Later on, you can use air units to hit the shards from angles where the enemies can't fight back, especially if it's cloak wraiths. So you don't even need that many you don't even need that much money. You just need a pair of wraiths and just hang out. And for attack waves, you have Magmines plus Strike Fighters plus Calldowns. So I put Han Horner in A.
I also put Han and Horner in A for a different reason. I'm thinking Galactic Gunrunners, the third prestige, and just literally bomb all the shards until there are no more shards. It does need a lot of money, so it will still do the patrol thing to spot for gas pickups. But I think at some point you will outscale the map itself. Plus you still have top bars to defend or for emergency situations. And for defense, Magmines plus Widow Mines should be okay. And yeah, I think A is still fine if you go for that approach. So prestige wise, did you go for the second prestige here so I can get the rates?
I, I think the first time I did this years ago, I used the first prestige for some reason. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think you should use the first one. Uh, I used the third one like last week, and I couldn't get enough fighters. But
Oh, that's unfortunate. I think the problem with that strategy is that if you get Tehran, the bunkers will be able to shoot down your airstrikers before they actually connect. That is the only concern with that prestige.
uh, I just made a pair of wraiths, and then I
Yeah.
had enough.
Okay. So Hot and Horner in A tier. Let's move on. Karax for me is S tier. He just uses, well, he has turrets, so they don't have to worry about defense, and they just use Spear of Adu to clear. You just use orbital strikes, maybe a mirage, just to aggro all the mag mines, make it safe for you to actually do the work, and then yeah, that's about it. Actually, you can use a Purifier Beam for every single attack wave, especially if you have the third prestige Solarite Celestial. You can even have observers just siege up outside of vision range of the detectors, and then you can still snipe all the shards, and that should be good for S tier. What do you think?
I don't think it's reliable to use Spear of a Dune to clear the shards, because that takes a lot of energy. That's probably better to like solar lance all the enemies and just like park a mirage there and let it just shoot for several minutes
That also
while
works.
you continue clearing
I
other
guess,
areas.
I guess it did work because the Mirage was shooting while I was Solar Lance or yeah Spear doing it. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Depending on the enemy, you don't actually have to use Purifier Beam on them because if they can just walk into your cannons and die, that's fine
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah. So you can use Purifier Beams to clear more areas, then you park more stuff. So I guess I don't know if it's S. He does need money, a lot of money to get enough cannons so that you don't die, I suppose. Early on, I guess you need more money. Later on, once you have everything set up, you don't really need money. Earlier on, you need a lot of money though. I put him in A.
Okay, if it's not unanimous, it's not S tier. So let's put Karax in A. Kerrigan. Where do you have him?
Kerrigan's only problem is really the first wave.
Yes.
So if you can somehow survive the first wave, then you can use P3 to print money or P2 slash P0 to clear mines more efficiently. Uh, she does there's a risk of getting feared because especially against Terran, because your immobilization wave won't kill the Marines in the bunkers.
Yes.
So hopefully you have extra queens for healing. Once she's out, she's good. So I don't know if it should be A or B, but I
I think it's
first put her
closer
in
to
B.
B. Yeah, I think B is also where she should be. She should be. Mega Worm's pretty good for just. You don't need a lot of Mega Networks, by the way. Like a couple of them should be fine, just to give you vision of where the pickups could be, just to give you tanking, quick escape if you are being targeted by a mine. Just give you just if Kega's running around in fear and she's getting targeted by a mine, you could put a worm between her and the mine. That would be good for tanking. Detection, pretty good. Yeah, it's just all around good. So, mobilization may be pretty good also. If you get them gas, dude lords are also good at just not getting feared because they're so far away, and then the enemies usually aggro onto the doodlings, but that's pretty expensive. I think B is about right, or yeah, B is about right. Nova for me is also B. She does have. You don't need a lot of liberators here. When I did this, I thought I needed just 4. I was able to get like 8. That's pretty effective. Nova herself just takes care of all the waves. The only annoying thing here is you have to make sure that all the mag mines, when you snipe the rifts, are cleared. Otherwise, it'll be annoying, especially when you're off the edge of the map and you can't actually click where you want to go because the pathing, the terrain setup on the edges is really weird. So you kind of just have to fully retreat so that you don't get hit by the mag mines. But I think it's still good enough for B. What do you think?
I put her in S because
S.
P3 you walk around and you clear everything, and your sabotage drone will kill all the ground units. And if there are air units, you use your nuke, which is free, every like 3.5 minutes. Once it's after 8.5 minutes, you get it very, very frequently. Once everything is gone, you can check your minimap. Once everything is gone, you don't even need liberators. You can just use banshees because the shards can't hit you. But if you want liberators to deal more damage, that's fine. And then then you repeat. And yeah, so and also the enemies come from the same direction, so it's very easy to line up an airstrike, even if it costs 1,000.
Except
Because you don't really need money. You don't really need money for anything except a pair of liberators, one pair.
Except if it's air based.
So,
If it's air based, it just goes around a completely different direction.
oh yeah, that's like 3 comps. But
That's
yeah.
true.
But for the most part, like if it's air based, then yeah, you can kind of tell you can hit them when they get closer to your base then.
I guess that's true.
But either way, yeah.
S tier? S tier. I don't know about S tier, honestly. First wave. I guess you can tank it until Nova's out. I don't
If you
know.
defense drone, they don't get feared.
That's also money.
Because the shield.
That's also money. I guess my plan either was just to tank the first wave with buildings until Nova is out, so it's like the same thing. Marines cost 600. That's 12 pickups. Plus, you just need the defensive drone. 2 minutes? Maybe it's just
not
my
like
RNG, but
it's not like you're making lots of SCVs back at home or anything.
I'm
Because you're
just
probably not making SCVs.
I'm just thinking that you still need that you still need money to get that army, and so you just engage your army and when there's absolutely nothing left.
Is it really hard to get 700 minerals?
If you have my RNG, yes. It's very hard when you have my RNG. Okay, if you say it's S tier, okay.
Like if
what?
anything, you can put your barracks in the front. Then while they're hitting it, you should be able to get like a bit of more money because your barracks has like what 2,000 HP,
2,000 health. Yeah.
2,500.
No,
It's a lot.
2,000. It's a lot. Except if it's Reapers, then the Reapers will just make short work of it. You're kind of screwed. Yeah. Fine. Let's have Nova and S tier. Let's move on. Raynor, where do you have him?
Raynor, he really needs an army. Whether it's Bile's probably not good. P3 is better, but it takes a while to get rolling, and you don't want to lose any of your army units, which means that I guess he's okay as long as you're very familiar with the timings and attack waves of this map, and like where the units are placed. So like your Dusk Wings can pick off the shards without getting hit. But with that said, I still put him in C.
I also put Raynor in C. Like, you have to be very, very knowledgeable about Raynor just to make it work. You have to know where all the defenses are so you can shoot them down to minimize the chances of your units getting struck with fear. You have to know the timings of the attack waves and where they're likely to path through. Sometimes they just go around that camp on that ramp. Sometimes they fly over in a different direction. And sometimes you don't expect that parent to get hit with fear, and then it just does. And that makes everything more annoying. And then it just gets stun locked. So I can't really give Raynor a higher score than C. He really needs to just engage. And I guess the point defense drones make it harder for the Hyperion to get struck with fear. But yeah, he's too expensive, so he's bad for slim pickings. His army is bulky. Even Hyperion is bulky, so that's not good against Magmines. And I guess I gave him a point for the map because he can't clear by just sniping. He can just drop army anywhere. So he can just clear out the detection and drop Banshees or clear out the anti-air, drop Vikings to clear the shards from the sides, and that'll work. But that's uh very specific. That's a very specific strategy. So that's probably more like C. Okay. Stetboy I have him in A tier. He can counteract fear by just using the green zone overcharge. He can counteract Magmines by just, microing his one unit Gary out of the way. And he can counteract slim pickings by just kind of soloing this with Gary. And whatever units he can scrounge up and send to the shards once the defenders are cleared. I did put him in S because the first wave is very iffy for him. He's only A tier for me. What do you think?
I guess if you have enough money, you just make like 8 banelings. But
That's a
I
lot
guess
of gas.
that depends how much money.
Is it better to just go for a spine crawler so they don't have to worry about fear?
That also works. Like, yeah, if you get like 4 spine crawlers, you'll kill most things. I think that might be even easier because you can repair from the back,
Yes.
and while you hopefully like gather 1 mineral at a time.
Yes. It's just, yeah, the thing is slim pickings makes it very variable, especially if you have my RNG and you have my ADHD. It's very hard to get a lot of money. Anyway, where do you have him?
Uh, I put him S, but I guess like because the Super Gary himself doesn't really get feared because he has so much HP.
Yeah, and the green
And
is
then he
overcharged.
has Gary Zone to clear everything. The first wave is the iffy part. So I guess if you like put all your money into spine crawlers and then like once you survive the first wave, you have like 3 minutes to rest and get more money before you get Super Gary.
Mm. So we've established that his only real problem is the first wave. So does that
Yeah.
put him down to A, or is he still S?
I think he's S.
Okay.
Like even if you use links and you have to go from the front up that ramp in the middle, Gary doesn't really have a problem clearing that area.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the first wave, like the
So,
very first wave, the 2 minute
yeah.
30-second one. That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
only real concern. I don't have a problem with once Gary's out, it's just on autopilot the rest of the game. But
Oh yeah, then I don't think the first wave is a problem. You can make nothing but like one spawning pool and then all spine crawlers,
okay,
and then hope you survive.
hope you survive. Okay, that's apparently good enough for S tier. That's apparently you don't need to work. Okay, you said it, not me. Stukov.
No, because once Gary's out, you don't even need Super Gary until like 8 minutes. Because regular Gary on P2 is still super strong.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah, so-
first wave is literally the only problem for Super Gary, or for Stat Boy. Stukov. Okay, this is gonna be strange too because Stukov is slow, but I think he's still fine. He's still S for me because once he gets the bunkers out, and you spread out the bunkers, the infest will just kind of naturally clear mines and will just naturally collect pickups, and it will even give you vision of where the other pickups are. So I think it is good enough for S. Plus, you have the Alexander to mind control a bunch of guys and aggro even more mines. You have the Apocalypse, which is very tanky and can take a lot of hits even before getting feared, if it does get feared. You have Dudelings, which again aggro more mines. You have I think he's S tier.
His first wave defense is much more questionable than the other ones.
Really? I just have the Dudelings.
But if they come at like 230, no, they don't come that fast. But if they're vultures or something, they're gonna come at like 240, and you'll need to your barracks can take some hits, but not that many.
How about the infested colonist
And
compound?
that also takes. You have 2 buildings, so hopefully they don't. If the compound only has 1,000 HP, it's really.
I
I think it
mean,
only has
it also
1,000 HP
spawns units, right?
at 3 minutes,
Yeah.
which is the same time as infest structure. So if you're fighting adepts, no problem. If you're fighting something that's faster, like lings, lings will reach your base around 250,
Something like
and
that.
then surround all your things. So
But won't the eggs
yeah,
already be out by then, though? I mean, the eggs
no,
will also
the eggs pop out at 3 minutes.
the
The
eggs
eggs
hatch or pop
are
out.
the eggs hatch like 10 seconds later.
Okay.
So you'll have infest structure before the civilians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you
But
have him?
I don't I suppose with enough free stuff, you don't really care, and you just completely focus on picking up
Getting
more
money in
money, which
bunkers.
you don't even have to focus that much because you'll incidentally pick up stuff.
Yeah.
I think S is fine.
Okay. At least we agree on that. Let's put Stukov in S tier. Swann, where do you have him?
He's like Karax, but worse because his top bar is not as good. It's yeah. Although if you use, I think P2 here would be P2 or P0 will be fine. Maybe even P0 because P2 you need more resources to get a few raids,
Yeah.
whereas with P0 you don't. And then just like with the mirages, you just need like a few and just park them next to the shard after you clear out everything there. Although like clearing the mines will be kind of hard, so you might need like concentrated beam or pulse cannon, then teleport a Herc, and then move around or something like that.
Yeah.
He has a lot more work to do. So I put him in B.
B. I think he's fine actually because the drill can do a lot of damage on its own if you just float a factory near, and that will already do a lot of damage to the void shards, and then your rates subsequently don't have to do as much work. I think it's actually A for this one. He does check off all the boxes. You don't need a lot of money after. Well, you just need enough money to get a few rates, and fear maybe, but when you float a factory, that does not have to worry about fear. You can just snipe down everything that shoots the factory using the laser drill, and mag mines. Well, they deal 250 damage, but your factory is something like 2,000, so that can absorb 8, and it has the repair drone thing, which you should absolutely get. So I think it's fine actually, not S, but A. I think.
I suppose if you know you're fighting immortals, then you'll save your concentrated beams for every wave because they come at this every 3 minutes, and beam is up every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to know like, well, it's not that hard, but
You can even use
getting
your
the
rates for the
factories.
immortals.
Yes, assuming they don't get feared after being tickled by the the sentries or the
Centuries.
scouts or adepts.
Okay, so where do you have him?
Okay. I guess A is all right since his defense against fear will be very good. The
Yeah,
the, the static
static
defense.
defense is pretty good. All right, I guess we can go Swann A tier. Tychus, where do you have him?
Tychus, he can. I did this with just Tychus, so I think if you have other outlaws, he'll be even stronger. If you have other outlaws, you can just like Tychus gets feared, and then you teleport him back, and then Nux comes in and finishes off the wave or something. Or Sirius and his turrets, they don't get feared.
Yeah, he's seriously good.
Uh, and then you have the Odin for the third and fourth areas, second area as well. Also, you can clear a lot of stuff. I put him in A.
Yeah, that's also where I put Tychus. He's not quite S because if any of these guys get feared, that's like a lot of firepower taken away. But then again, you don't need a lot of guys pushing at the same time. But it's just not S for me. He just still has to do work. So A is fine. I mean, for the level of effort you need to put in, A is not bad. Okay, Vorazun, I put her in C. I was thinking D, but I guess she's good at just aggroing mines by just having her Shadow Guard, just aggro all of them, and then when they're doing their Shadow Fury thing, they don't actually get hit. They're invincible when they're doing Shadow Fury. Plus, when you engage, you don't actually need to engage. You just need to time stop. You just make sure your time stops deal with shards, so that you won't actually run out of time, and just defend using your normal units like Dark Templar, Cannons. If you want to get Corsairs, that'll work too. I think Cannons are more cost-effective anti-air, unless you get battle cruisers. Then battle cruisers will be really bad. I mean, I'm not saying she's good, but I think she's the worst here. I think. Looking at the guys, I think she's the worst. But even then, she's still somewhat usable. So I think only C. What do you think?
I think that makes sense just because she needs a lot of money to do well, to be quite effective. Time stop is actually like it freezes the mag mines, which means that like once time stops over, all of them will trigger at the same
At the same
time and
time.
you'll just get hit. So if you put like a nexus near the shards, so the top left corner for the third area, the top like the ESO area, or maybe even inside for the last area, they can revive closer, and then you can use them for a second time, like deal a bit more damage before they die the second time.
Okay, I need to know
But still,
how do you as Vorazun get to the back area of the third set of shards?
you so what I've done before is you fly some Corsairs, and then you time stop, and then you teleport a probe, and then you build the Nexus.
Oh my
Or
goodness!
the other way is you just fly a bunch of Corsairs, hope at least one stays alive,
Hope at
and
least one
then
stays alive. That's
and
why
then
she's
you
C tier.
drop the Dark Pylon.
Okay, so where do you have
Yeah,
her?
I don't think C is fine. I
C
don't
is
think
fine.
she's
I was actually contemplating putting her in D, but she does have the I can blink out of mag mines thing, which is something. So C it is.
it's
Zagara.
the Shadow Fury thing is not reliable because like during if you're using it during time stop, you may have used it
Yeah, maybe on
right away,
cooldown.
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, she has one prestige. Keeper of Shadows. Zagara, where do you have him?
Zagara, once I learned how to use bio launchers on this map, it's like you don't need much money to clear a lot of the shards. So yeah, you can clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shards. Uh, one, 1, 2, 3, 4 with bio launchers, and then 2 just by like using Zagara herself. So the right one of the second area, the top left one of the third area, you can just deep tunnel and kill like the one enemy that's there, and then Zagara can take it out for free. Then there's like so many that you can just put like 2 bio launchers and shoot them, and it'll take a few minutes, but nothing will stop you. And then she'll just bank up lots of free banelings, which I guess if you clear the middle, you can just patrol the free banelings to pick up all this money while you're waiting for the waves to come. I put her in A.
Okay. I don't know how to use bio launchers, so I didn't think of that. You're gonna have to send. You're gonna have to send Zeus a screenshot of what you mean by the bio launcher looking. I have a vague idea of what you mean, like the left one of the second set, the bottom one of the third set, the right of the third set, the top one, or the left one of the fourth set. You're gonna have to send Zeus so we can make sure that we're thinking of the same thing here. But if you say she's
The
A,
left
yeah,
the left one of the third set is at the top edge of the natural. The right one of the third set is at the left side of the ESO area. Then there's the left one, which is like you just if you build bio launchers along the wall outside of the fourth area, you can hit the left one and the front middle
the
one.
bottom one, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
just send my editor a screenshot of what you mean, so that uh, see, you just put it on like on this in the on the middle of the screen, so like the viewers can follow along without having to imagine the map by themselves. Uh, okay, if you say she's A, then I don't really know how to use biology, so I'll just take what you say for it. Take your word for it. Zagara an A. Zeratul, Cadence good, S tier. I mean, this is not just cadence. Like Zeratul can just take out the detectors and have free reign over the map. And again, cadence good. The boat guy good. Monolith's good. Like yeah,
How about first wave?
that's the only iffy part, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the only iffy part. I
It's
mean,
800. 800 unless you use mastery, which means you won't have Avatar every three
every
minutes for
3 minutes.
every subsequent wave.
Yeah. So that's the only thing you have to figure out. It's like the Stet Boy problem, the Stukov problem. That's the one thing you have to
His
worry
at
about.
least he has an answer. Like his answer is very reliable. You just get the money, and then
And use a
the
Legion.
enemies disappear.
Yes. But the onus is on you to gather up enough money. It's even more expensive than Marines and defensive joint for Nova. So there you go. So what do you think?
Uh, I also think there's another thing to consider, which is that when you look for future, like subsequent artifacts, they might be in uncleared areas, and he might get feared
Yes,
while he's traveling there.
that's absolutely a thing.
That's something to keep in mind. So it's not like he instantly gets stronger every time. He gets sent around to places where you normally wouldn't go, and then like everyone, because you haven't cleared the detectors, the everyone will see you, and you might die before you collect the artifact,
Yes,
and you gotta wait a minute.
definitely. That's
I
why.
think he should be an A.
Oh, you think he should be an A? Well, it's not
He's
unanimous.
still good.
I mean, it's not. We have a rule here. If it's not unanimous, it's not S. If you don't agree with S, then I can't do anything about it. So that's our commanders. They have a double S. Oh, by the way, prestige.
Mm,
Prestige for Zagara, you want the third one. For Tychus, you want the second one. For Zeratul, you want. I think second one's still better for Zeratul. Do you want the tornado?
yeah. Um, if you use the tornado, then you don't have to look for stuff, and you still can use cannons.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm thinking. So second or third,
although,
just depend
yeah,
on what
second or third, yeah.
depend on your preferred play style. Okay, do you have a double S?
Uh, Not really. The close this one would be Manx, but
Really, I was
uh,
thinking Dehaka.
the guy who I guess the Haka doesn't have to really go to bases either.
Yeah, yeah, the guy with
Not really. No, Manx
creeper
is
hosts.
easier. He's ESOs.
Uh,
Once you get ESO, because for the Haka you have to move to the third area, I guess. Like you have to move to ESO area
that's
at some
true.
point,
Okay, so
which means you have to clear the middle.
top is Arcturus, second is Dehaka.
Yes. Then
Okay, third. So which one of these
I
guys
think
has the least
Stetmann's more
problem?
forgiving.
I agree. He is more forgiving. And then
Nova
Nova, and then Stukov, bottom of S.
and
Okay, who's top of A? Zeratul?
so
Yeah, I did have him in S. And then Tychus?
out. I guess yeah. Everything dies to an Odin nuke. Then he's by himself in an empty base. Nothing can really stop him.
Except a few Marines left over from the bunkers. Maybe a big hybrid or two. So
Yeah.
Tychus? And then Karax?
Yeah.
Unity
Karax.
Unity barrier is
Good.
huge for mines. And then, I want to say Swann. Or do you think Zagara is better?
Yeah.
Zagara or
No,
Swann?
Zagara has like against later waves, you have to like Baneling Barrage and then move back and repeat several times.
Make sure you don't get feared.
Hoping
Okay.
that you hit. Yeah.
That's very fair. So Swann?
Swann.
And then Han and Horner or Abathur?
Han Horner is better.
Okay. Then Abathur, then Zagara? Or Zagara then Abathur?
And
we can call it a tie if you want.
I think Zagara's better.
Okay. So Kerrigan's all on her own on B tier. Do we put anyone up to or down to B tier to join Kerrigan, or she's just there?
She's just there.
She's just there. Okay. Oh my goodness. Who's top of C tier? Vorazun's bottom, right? Do we agree on that?
Yes.
I think
Vorazun's pretty bad.
I think
Artanis.
Artanis, yeah. Artanis top of C. Artanis was B for me. So having a top of C is not that big of a deal. And then Fenix? Is Fenix or Alarak?
Yeah, it's one of those two. And then the other one.
We can call it a tie.
Well,
doesn't really matter to me. They're a C tier.
Yeah, I think Alarak with his overcharge might be better.
Okay. Alarak, then Fenix, then Raynor, then Vorazun. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, there it is. Guys, watch Twotuu's videos. I will link them down below. See you guys next time.